Hello Internet, my name is Hazel from Hazelnuttygames, and welcome to Saturday, so it's vlog time. This week, they have very recently, kicked up the bonus experience for leveling in Diablo 3 in preparation for the Reaper of Souls patch and expansion. The expansion is launching on March the 25th, that's the right month, which would make it on Tuesday, that's right, that's patch day. And I believe for the weekend, and possibly even right up until the launch, they've kicked the XP from, I think it was 40% all the way up to 100% bonus XP. So if you are looking to level a character, you've got D3, you're going to play Reaper, but you just haven't looked at it, now would be a great time to get back into it, if in fact you want to level. I've actually been kind of avoiding the bonus experience because I'm learning a new class, and I feel like I'm going to learn it a lot better if I level at a regular pace. The leveling too fast it freaks me out. It's weird, and I don't have enough time to learn and get used to and try out all of the abilities and runes and things like that. So I prefer to level at a normal pace, but they will be reverting the experience to normal as soon as Reaper launches. They better. There is still no word on the Warlords of Draenor beta. Maybe they're just waiting for us to forget about it, in which case it is completely my fault because I haven't forgotten about it and I probably won't. It's gotta happen soon. Oh man, but this, in the waiting, this is the long patch. It very well may end up being a year or more long, the 5.4 before the launch of Warlords, but everybody's passing time in a different way. I have, in the meantime, gotten addicted to Archaeology, of all things. I used to do a bunch of Archaeology back in Cataclysm when it first came out. I thought it was pretty great. This is pre-Archaeology nerf. What was it I wanted? I wanted the Tyrannus doll because that was the thing to have as a PvP healer in Arena at the time. Anyway, so I had a bit of a history with it, but I haven't done it in quite some time because once you get the thing that you want, there isn't really much reason to do it anymore. But I have gone full head on back into it because I found out that Archaeology in Pandaria is actually pretty fun. The dig sites are tiny, they're like little, so it's not really frustrating to get through them. They are usually grouped up pretty well, so it's nice to just go around and nab all of them. It doesn't take too long to fly across Pandaria. It's a beautiful zone to fly around. And when you complete an artifact, instead of getting like 5 gold, you can crate it and then trade that crate for fragments from a different race, different like school of archaeology. So obviously the thing to do here is to do a buttload of archaeology in Pandaria, gather up all the artifacts, trade them all for Tol'vir fragments in hopes of getting A, the Crawling Claw, which I do not have and I want it, and it's very expensive on the auction house, or B, the mount, the blue Kiraji mount. I'm not super into the mount, but it's rare and therefore I want it, so if I get the pet along the way, that'll be cool. And the Seeker of Knowledge title is something that may happen along that whole process. You get that from collecting one of each. When in Pandaria, when you get an artifact, you can get a regular one or you can get a pristine one, and when you've collected one of each pristine artifact, you get an achievement that gives you a title blank, the Seeker of Knowledge, which I think is pretty badass. So that's happening. I have been also... PvP is a great thing to do if you are ever in the long patch because raids get old, but PvP's been the same thing for years, so it's not exactly going to get any staler than it already is, and it's a different game every time. I have been having a blast in Arena. I've been capping up my hunter every week with a couple of different people, and it's been so much fun. But doing Arena is it's bad for my ult addiction because I go against a class that like face stomps us, and I go, wow, that looks really fun, I want to play that. And I like the idea of leveling a bunch of alts and doing just like casual Arena on all of them to get a feel for how each one plays, how to counter each one, and also to have lots and lots and lots of alts. I was doing Archaeology like really late last night because I couldn't sleep. I tried to do it on my laptop in bed. Apparently trying to fly without a mouse and with a trackpad that's kind of funny is a problem. But it was the middle of the night and I was like, wow, monks are kind of cool because I have a monk. My monk is level 70. She's a Pandaren Mistweaver monk. But I had just earlier gotten absolutely wrecked by this Windwalker monk. And there was just so much CC and so much damage and so much mobility. There didn't look to be a downside. And if this is going to be a really long patch, you may as well play the most overpowered thing. It's their new class. Of course, they're going to tune it up a little bit to try and get people to play it. So I was thinking, okay, so monk, Windwalker monk, I could just make an off-spec on my panda, but that's no fun. And then I have to learn all the abilities like all at once. What if I made an undead Windwalker monk? And now I'm really excited about that. it's backburnered because I'm still working on my paladin and I still kind of want a shaman, and I can't I can't stop, guys. I like leveling too much. So that's mostly been my week. Let's get on to a couple of questions. Avery asks, who is your most powerful pet you own? Well, I took a little bit of time to try and think about what the definition of a powerful pet would be. I came up with basically just looking at my pet that was the highest in terms of raw stats. You will have a pet that is the highest damage stat, you will have a fastest pet, but the pet that is the highest balance of those, I would determine to be my most powerful one. There was a couple that were very close, so I picked the one that had the best variety of abilities, and I felt the most powerful abilities. So I'm going to go with my Azura Whelpling. Little blue, flappy little Whelpling. He is a rare drop out of Winter Spring. Any mob in Winter Spring can drop him, but he is ridiculously, I think it's like a 1 in 1,000 drop rate, so it's not awful, but it's not great. His attack stat is pretty good at 309. The highest attack I was able to find in any of my pets was 325. His speed is 260, which is actually alright. It's not fast, but it's not slow either. And his moves are pretty powerful. He's got Surge of Power, so he's got the big boom magic damage. He's got Dragonkin damage, he's got Beast damage, he's got Wild Magic, which adds 86 damage to each attack against a target, and that's really good. So I'm going to go and say that my most powerful pet would be my Azure Whelpling, and I really should play him more because he's level 25 and I haven't really used him yet. I do have all of the basic Whelplings. You can get Azure, which is the blue one, Crimson, Emerald, and Black. Dark. I farmed them all back up in Wrath of the Lich King. Like, before I had a max level character, I was farming those whelps because I had one drop for me accidentally. I think it was the blue one that dropped for me accidentally, and then I looked them up and I wanted them really badly. And then I immediately went, without considering leveling, I went on like my level 40 hunter to the wetlands to farm for the red one. Back then, there was just certain mobs that dropped it before the orcs invaded the wetlands. And I think it worked out to like 3 to 5k, somewhere in there, on foot, because there was no flying back then. And because I didn't even have the fast mount training yet to farm up that whelpling, but I loved him so much. And they all match, and I have all these different colors, and it's great. So, lots of whelp kills, but worth it. And William asks, what do you think about WoD, and will it change WoW? Well, as to whether or not it'll change WoW, obviously it's a new expansion, they're adding a bunch of stuff, of course it's going to change WoW, but I don't think it's going to change as much as people are worried about. Most of the big changes, obvious one is item swish, and I will talk about this more, I'm sure, plenty in a variety of different forums, but the item squish I don't think is going to feel any different. Based on, I didn't go to BlizzCon, but all the feedback I heard from it was that most people didn't really notice it. And so long as they've assured us multiple times that we will still be able to solo old content with as much beastly power as before. So I'm not worried about the stat squish. The flying thing is just for Draenor, so you will still be able to fly in all the areas you were able to previously, so that's not going to change. Old World's not going to change. Leveling's not really going to change. And I think that the biggest changes are obviously going to be to combat and the talent system, and while they are going to be updating things, making changes, changing ratios, things like that, they're not redoing the system as comprehensively as they did in all of the expansions so far. Kata had a huge change, and then Mop's change was also massive, and I don't think they're going to take it quite that crazy again. They're at least sticking with the Mop model of talents. I think it's a similar story with Glyphs. We'll see how it turns out, and you can't really pass judgment on it until you've played it, which is why we need the beta. But I think it's going to be great. I'm really excited about it. I can't pass too much specific judgment until I've played it, because a lot of things, you read them on paper, and they sound horrible, or they sound amazing, or they sound just really, really interesting, but you can't see how they're actually going to play out until you've spent some time in the actual game. So it will change WoW. It will not break WoW. It will not change WoW significantly. It's still going to feel like the same game. I think it's just going to feel like a better version of the same game. I am a little bit worried about how the aesthetic of Draenor is looking very gritty and very serious, just because that doesn't particularly appeal to me. I know there's a lot of people that would be very excited about that thought Pandaland was way too happy and pretty and cherry blossoms. But I'll wait till I see the zones, but I'm a little worried it's going to be a little too dark, but we'll see. We'll see. I think it'll be just fine. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful week. If you have any questions you would like answered on a Saturday vlog, please send them to me either directly as a message on YouTube or as an email to hazelnuttygames@gmail.com. All of the social media links are in the description. If you feel like following me on Twitter, I tweet things. You want to follow me on Instagram, I post pictures of food. That's what Instagram's for. You want to follow me on Facebook for like stream updates or any channel related stuff. You can follow me wherever you want or nowhere. That's whatever. That's going to be all in the description. Send me questions if you have any. And have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.